So this is my presentation on the Rio Grande border that came as a result of the Mexican-American War. So some background information is Texas annexed itself from pretty much both the United States and Mexico eventually because debates over slavery in Texas. They wanted slavery in Texas, but they were trying to get rid of it pretty much, and like pretty much everywhere else. So that sparked debates, and Texas ended up declaring independence. And then they later declared independence from Mexico in 1836, which created a lot of tension and led to outbreaks of fights between Texans and the United States and Texans and Mexicans. And pretty much the United States wanted the border between Mexico and America to be that of the Rio Grande River, and then Mexico wanted it to be the Nueces River. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong, but that's where they wanted to be the border between Texas and Mexico. So both of these maps right over here will show both the borders. This is the one I like to refer to the most. So this is going to be the Rio Grande River, which is where America wanted. As you can see, this gives America a lot more room, a lot more territory. And then pretty much this is the amount of land between where they wanted. So this is the Nueces River, which is where Mexico wanted the border to be. But yeah, this led to a lot of fights and eventually the Mexican-American War. So that's just some background info about Texas. So a war then broke out, which is the Mexican-American War. The fighting between the nations over where the true borders should be caused a lot of fighting, as I said, across the land. Then many empty gestures and failed attempts of threats by both sides showed of force, as well as Texas lost to the Mexican public, showing opposition to any more ground surrendering to the United States. Basically, Mexico did not want to surrender any more of its land to the United States. And then on April 24th, a Mexican attack led to the deaths of 11 U.S. soldiers, which then led to a proclamation, is what I like to call it, of war made by James Polk in a letter to Washington, saying that Mexico basically wanted this when they made American blood spill on soil. So yeah, so this is going to be James Polk. This is again just another map of the borders between where the Americans wanted the border for the Rio Grande River, and then this was basically the whole fight between Americans and Mexicans, and the Mexicans pretty much just attacked the U.S. soldiers when they were sitting in their spots. The Mexicans pretty much just attacked to start a fight. So how we eventually did acquire the Rio Grande River as the border. Pretty much Americans during the war took over the Mexican capital, which is this picture right here. As I said, the picture above shows the U.S. taking over a Mexican capital. Pretty much they took over for 4 months, and during this time they basically scared the Mexican leaders into signing away their rights to where they wanted. Pretty much they wanted them to sign over they wanted them to sign a document that basically said the Rio Grande River would be officially the border between Mexico and the United States. This gave a lot more land to the United States, more than it did to Mexico, as it was 150 miles further west from the Nueces River, which is where the Mexicans wanted. So yeah, this is just another map that I was provided linked in GoView, pretty much of the divide between the United States and Mexico. In my opinion, I feel like the Mexican leaders felt they had no choice but to sign this document provided by the United States. And then the United States also offered $15 million in order for this deal to actually go through. And they were afraid of losing more land if they tried to fight than if they had just signed over and did what they wanted them to do. So yeah. So this is again another map that I was provided, which basically just shows the divide between the United States and Mexico, and Texas and all of that. So the benefits of the Rio Grande River, it's one of the largest rivers in the world, and having this as a border between Mexico and the United States brings a lot more benefits, including financial benefits. We can grow a lot more and thrive more agriculturally, as well as mining. The gold rush was a big thing in the United States. They wanted to mine and mine and mine, and having this as a border provided them with land and provided them with more ability to mine. It also benefited financially, recreationally. The river could be used for a vacationing spot, a tourist location, so it did bring in a lot of money recreationally as well, which helped the United States economy thrive during this time. And even into the future, it's still pretty much having the economy thrive due to this being the border. But yeah, that's pretty much a big reason why they wanted to. The United States knew they would benefit a lot from this being one of the largest rivers in the world. They could pretty much profit and prosper off of this, and they knew that, and that's why they really wanted to fight for this. And they also got a lot more land from this being border than the Nueces River, which didn't give them as much land. It gave Mexico way more land than them. So the final slide is pretty much just maps, again detailing the Rio Grande River. I really like this map. I found this map on the web. I really like how it just details all of this and really shows the divide between the United States and this is Texas, obviously closest to the Rio Grande River, and Mexico being on this side, and how much land we have compared to how much land they have. This is also just a highlighted divide, which shows a bigger outlook between the United States and Mexico. And this shows all of the Texan land, and how Texas divided their little state between the American states, which is pretty much over here, and the Mexican states, which is this right here. And then this is the Gulf right there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have today, and that was my presentation.